What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley. What is going on, guys? I am David, and I am here with another guest host this week, Mr. Hunter Thomas. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm really excited. Racing season's back.
Dude, it's back. It's back. It is back. We have had the Daytona 500, and we are here to talk about some racing. First of all, if y'all don't know Hunter, go check out his stuff on pretty much all social media. One of the best writers in the business, one of the best photographers in the business, in my opinion.
I appreciate it. It's thefourthturn.com, all spelled out, TheFourthTurn.com.
Well, real quick before we get into anything else on here, man, a little backstory on you. What got you into photography and writing at the in the motorsports side anyway?
Yeah, so growing up in Darlington, where I still live, you grew up a race fan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with Darlington Raceway right there. Yeah. So, I grew up going to races with my father, and I had a good friend, Tyler Goodson. He introduced me to racing at 5 or 6 years old. And, I always wanted to work in the sport, but there are so many avenues to do so. So I landed in journalism. I went to Francis Marion University, which is right down the street from here.
Yep.
And, I guess it's luck. I started off at Dillon Motor Speedway doing PR there, and Ron Barfield introduced me to a good bit of people in the industry. The Allison family helped me out a lot. So I just started doing PR for some teams. I worked for Rockingham Raceway a little bit, and then after a while, Christopher Neal, who works for the Florence County Sheriff's Office, he and I started the website, thefourthturn.com, and we started covering local late models, and then eventually up to the NASCAR Cup Series.
Sweet, man, sweet. Well, like I said, Hunter does amazing work, and so y'all go check out his stuff for sure. And I know you've really paid attention to a lot of racing this past weekend. Yeah. There's been a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, this is season 15 for me, so
wow.
It'll be 16 come June or come August. So yeah, it's been a long time, but it's been fun, and I'll tell you, this is the best time of the year, other than Labor Day weekend, of course. But
well, of course.
Yeah. And
now we got a even different weekend in the spring this year.
So, absolutely.
At Darlington, so we are ready for that for sure. Getting warmer. We don't know if it's getting warmer or going to get cold around here anymore. We used to talk about weather, I seem like all the time on this podcast, but last week it was like 70 degrees. This week I think it's like it's supposed to be 30 tonight. It's supposed to be 19 one night. Man, I don't know what it's doing around here. It's crazy.
It is, but hey, man, whenever you're around those hot race cars at the track, you warm up real quick.
That's right. That's right. Oh, cool. We have got a good bit in store tonight on the show. We got some. We put it out there earlier. Winner of the ARCA Series at Daytona International Speedway this past weekend. Our good friend Butterbean Queen, he will be here on the show. Quade, let me make sure I get his last name right. Schoonover. That's right. I'm pretty sure. He is racing legend cars out of Ohio. He will be here on the show tonight, and we will have our normal talking the dirt with our buddy Racin Jason tonight. But let's so we got so much going on. Let's go straight into it, and let's go live here with our buddy Butterbean. What's up, man?
Well, hey, nice diecast sitting there.
That's pretty, ain't it? That's pretty, ain't it?
I like that. I like that a lot.
And I didn't just put that up here because you were coming on. It's been on there all season. Just let you know.
I love it. It took long enough to get it. Now you got to get the ARCA one on there.
I do. I told you next time I seen you, I was gonna have to get you to sign it.
Hey, absolutely.
It was like a Christmas present to me for whatever reason. It literally came to my house on Christmas Eve.
That happened to a lot of people. I think that's awesome. It turned out good, so I'm happy with it.
It was really funny because yours came and Landon Huffman's came the same day, and I had ordered his so long ago, I had forgot I ordered it.
Got them both.
Got them both. Man, what a weekend you had, man. That was so cool. Your first weekend with the Pinnacle Racing Group there, and, man, took it to victory lane. Going to victory lane is one thing, but at Daytona,
I I don't even know what to say. I still haven't caught up. Uh, I don't even know. I got a million people I got to talk text back still, and it's just been unbelievable. I mean, we won Daytona. I don't even know what to say besides like thankful, blessed, and like who would have ever thought of just a late model guy trying to make it and ne- never even done a burnout. Did a burnout on the front stretch, and I mean, just everything was perfect. So really cool, and they can't ever take it away. I mean, I might not win another race my whole life, but I've won Daytona.
Well, dude, you can say that all you want, but I told me and Sterling were talking here on the show last week, and I said with that group that Butterbean's with, it wouldn't surprise me to go out there and go see him win the majority of the season this year. So
I like the way you think.
and I'm trying to blow your head up. I know Shane and them guys over there, man. They're on top of their game, man. They know what they're doing. What's the experience been like going to a team like that? I know you and Lee had your thing going together for a couple of years, man, and it was so much like a family for y'all. I know you referred to Lee as your brother, pretty much. And so what's it been like, changing teams more than anything?
Well, don't let it fool you. My brother just left. He was been with me for the last day. He drove down with his family yesterday and spent the night at my house just to
Nice.
see me, to be here and see the trophy and spend the night celebrating with me. We went out and did an escape room last night and just had a good time. Got away from the racing and just enjoyed it. And there's nobody else that I wanted to do that with than Lee. So cool to have him and his wife and Brantley and obviously my girlfriend Nicole. It was just super cool to um, experience that. He was supposed to actually be there in Daytona, and it just didn't work out.
Oh,
But he was on the phone with me as I pulled into Victory Lane, so like that's pretty
nice.
cool. Like as I'm driving into Victory Lane, I'm on the cell phone with Lee. So he called Shane, and Shane made sure they got the phone to me. So that's how special our relationship is moving forward. Like we're still tight, talk every day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's a plus. But leaving his powerhouse to go to this powerhouse is another type of special. These guys at Pinnacle are awesome. I mean, Shane Huffman runs a awesome team, and then my crew chief Steven Dawson did a great job, man, and excited to work with him this year as Shane is now like the general manager of the team. So it's so cool. They treat me good, and I felt like they believed in me from the beginning, and now I really hope they do. So I'm excited for the next one.
It's coming soon, man. It's coming soon.
Brenden, you pretty much lived every grassroots racer dream. I mean, everyone dreams of going down that back stretch at Daytona, coming to the checkered flag. What was that like on that final lap?
Oh, so I had Derek Nealon spotting, and he does such a good job. And just I learned so much throughout the race. Like we didn't try to lead, we just tried to like be there at the end and took the lead when the opportunity presented itself. And then just Derek talking me through how to block both lanes. Like I feel like in an ARCA race, I haven't really ever seen the leader block both lanes, and I hadn't really gone back and watched the replay, but I know I was blocking both lanes there. So I feel like that's what it looks like on TV, and just listening to Derek and doing every move he told me to do, it just all was just gelling perfect. And like when it's your day, it all goes good, and that's kind of how it felt. And it was the longest 8 laps of my life for sure, because I just knew we were gonna have a caution and a restart. And I just was like, man, it'd be crazy if this thing, like when I took the lead with 8 to go, I was like, this is awesome. Like I'm going to lead a lap at Daytona. And I was like, it'd be crazy if this thing went green to the end. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. And like your mind's you're just trying to stay locked in and focused. And then like 7 to go, 6 to go, I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. And then we got to white. I'm like, well, at least I can say I had a shot to win, whatever happens here. And man, just special.
I'll tell you, Brenden, I know that the whole grassroots community is very proud of you. It's almost like you won for all of us, because
that's what I wanted to do, man. I represent everybody that didn't get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, man. You are. I just love it, man. I'm not trying to blow your head up by no means. I tell you that all the time. I'm really not. I just, like you said, we're proud of you from this grassroots level, man. And but me and my dad sat down the other day, and it's like, we wanted to watch racing the whole weekend because it's Daytona 500 weekend. But it was like we got to watch this ARCA race. Butterbean's in it. It's his first race with Pinnacle. We got to watch it, and I was like, I think he can win it. I think he can. I just thought he could. I know you super speedways hadn't been something that you run a lot of, but I thought you could win it with the team you're with and the equipment you're in, and in the Chevy camp now, and just I thought you could, and so man, it was exciting. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's myself. It was exciting to watch.
It is. It was just special having my friends and family there, and my sponsor, and seeing them in the grass with me out there, and just looking up and realizing it was Daytona, and just the whole experience, and the amount of people that came up to me, and just respect and know what it means to win at Daytona. Like it's like you said, like all the people know me as a late model guy, and that's what I always will be at heart. And like I've grinded it out at these short tracks for so long that I feel like whether people like me or don't like me, I'm one of them, and they gotta feel a part of it, in some way. Whether we've wrecked together or knocked each other out of the way or raced hard, like it's just cool knowing that we came from that part of the racing community and can win at Daytona. Something that, like, I'm not a super speedway racer, right? Like,
you are now.
I'm used to going 80 miles an hour and hitting doors, and you just wiggle a little bit. Now you're running 180, and if you hit doors, you're not wiggling. You're hitting something pretty good. So, just, man, like you said, I don't know what to say.
Well, man, with obviously a win under your belt now, and but you still got a whole season to go. As you look at it and you look at the schedule, and now you got a little bit of feel in this car. Obviously, it's not going to be on the same type track every week. Just what's your overall feeling about it?
Obviously, I'm looking forward to the short tracks just because that's what I am as a short track guy. But the mile and a halfs are going to be a learning curve, but I feel like the car is going to be good enough to win. I just have to listen to my spotter and work hard with my team and study film and do my part, do my homework, and be as prepared as I can for it. And then on top of that, I just need to keep the pedal down, keep the momentum going, try to gain some points along the way here, and hopefully just, in an old perfect world, go win races and lead the points the whole season would be great. Hopefully it's not going to be as stressful as I know it will be, and I know it won't be easy, but if it could be a little bit smoother than the points were last year, I'd be okay with that.
There you go. Well, cool, man. Well, I just want to let you know in our chat down here, there's a lot of people on there congratulating you too. That they want to tell you congratulations, and how about tell Shane for me that it's time for him to get back on our racing. We got to start back up our Chicken Bone Alley League so I can go beat him some more.
He's on all the time. I bet he's on right now. He literally got me signed up. Didn't even tell me for that Dale Jr. charity race the other week, and I didn't know till like a day before that I was racing in it. And we ended up finishing third on that team deal. So
sweet.
Old Huff Daddy, he still gets his sim racing in.
Yeah, me and him. It's so funny because me and him run like side by side every time we're on iRacing together. And if Landon ever comes in there, we're just like, nah, we're done, because he's ridiculous.
I love picking on Shane, so it's a good time.
Yeah, it's great. Well, dude, I think you're with a good team. I know you're with a good team. I know you're with a good group now, and which you've always you have been for a long time. But just the one you're with now is great. And man, I am so ready to go watch you race for a lot of wins this year and race for a championship. It is we're excited for it. And man, I do want to ask this, and I hadn't asked you before. Now, obviously. PRG there, it's ARCA, but they also have a few more cars. Is there any chance of getting in any other, maybe in a late model at any time this year?
Stay tuned, right?
Okay.
You know me. If it's available, I'm a late model guy, and I want to race. I don't have any late model plans as of now besides my dirt late model. Planning on running that some, maybe go back home to Dixieland or something and race in front of the home crowd. And I'd really like to run the Hampton Heat again. Like, that'd be like one circled if I can get a late model race in. We raced Dover the day before, so I would definitely have interest in trying to win 3 in a row at that, and my 4th overall Hampton Heat would be special. But other than that, that's about all on that side that I have even in the brain on it, or even in I don't know what the word would be, my thought process on it. But I just it all have to work out. We raced Dover the day before the Hampton Heat, so that'd be a little iffy, but I feel like if there's one place I don't need to really practice a lot at would be Langley. Yeah. And never know. Might be a Pinnacle car or a Pulliam car. You never know.
There you go. Cool deal, man. Oh, God, there was something else I wanted to ask you really fast, and it just left me.
Uh-oh.
Who knows? I'm getting old.
Well, Brenden, I think you're doing everything right, man. You've gotten everything you can out of late models. Now you're doing a full season in ARCA. I think in a year or two we'll see in an Xfinity car or maybe a truck or something like that. So congratulations.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the support, and we'll keep trying to represent all the little guys.
There you go, man. Well, who all you got to thank now for helping you out get to this point, man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to thank everybody at Pinnacle Racing Group, everybody at Chevrolet for taking me in, Best Repair Company, bestrepair.net, the whole Staten family, and everything everybody at BRC does to help support us. Driven Sunglasses for coming on board this past week. K1 has been helping us out this year on that Pinnacle deal. So got some really cool deals. I got to give a shout out to, Austin at HMS for keeping my shoe berth looking good, and everybody off axis that got that mullet paint scheme on it for Daytona, and first race with it, got a win. So just like I said, everybody at the shop, all the boys working hard, and just looking forward to a great season.
I just remember what it was I was going to ask really quick. I know you're a busy man, but are we going to hear any more of the Bean Pod?
Yes, so we moved, and I have everything down here, so it's looking like I'd like to get one recorded this week, obviously hot off the press with the Daytona win, and hopefully leave it set up and be able to do a more regular thing down here. So that's the plan. For sure.
Well, I done told you,
please
man.
tune in. Please tune in.
Well, for sure. Let everybody know. Tune in. I done told you if you need any help with it, just let me know.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch.
All right, brother. Well, appreciate you. Go do all the things you got to do as a winner, and we appreciate you taking some time with us tonight, man. And we're gonna be talking with you soon about some more wins here real soon.
Yes, sir. Anytime. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Butterbean, Brenden Queen there, coming off fresh win at Daytona in the ARCA Series. Super cool. We really appreciate him coming on, and man, that was a wild race, but it was a really good finish. It was very wild. I think I saw the stat that 25 of the 40-ish cars wrecked.
Yeah,
were involved in a wreck at some point in time. Butterbean was not one of them. His car was perfectly clean.
It was amazing how Helio Castroneves crashed a few times and he still finished up front. But I think we'll see Butterbean, I think even next year full time.
Oh, yes.
In some kind of national series, Tricon or maybe even Junior Motorsports.
I could see it. I think there's some things lining up. I was looking at some. Me and Buddy were talking about it. I think it was yesterday, and there's some things that are kind of lining up with some people you kind of know are going to be moving to the Cup Series or moving up here and there. And I'm like, I could really see that lining up for him to, jump in one of those rides. And who knows, like you said, maybe it could be at a Junior Motorsports. I think I got a feeling now on the Team Chevy side is entrenched as Chevrolet is in the PRG stuff there, that he could really be entrenched in the Chevrolet stuff now. So I can see that. And obviously there's a few places to move on the Chevy side, so that's good. I feel like there's some stuff going to come open at might be stuff coming open at Junior. I feel like maybe some stuff could come open at Childress next year. Who knows?
But if anyone here is watching, he needs sponsor dollars to do it too.
That is
so
for sure.
Y'all need to take a good look and look at this diecast right here. You could have your own sponsor on there too. So
that is exactly.
He's going to need some help to move up.
Exactly right, because it is a man. I've heard a few things this past week that really stunk for some guys, and we were talking about, I think one time last week, Christian Rhodes we had on our show a couple years back. He's ran the ARCA Series for a couple years, and he was supposed to run the truck series full time this year for Nice, and a couple days before Daytona, something happened with a sponsor, and he had to back out of the ride completely. And I'm like, man, that stinks so bad. I get it. I mean, you can't run without money, that's for sure. So
it's a lot of money, man. I think even the truck series is, 20 to 50,000 a race, probably something like that. So, and that's probably towards the back of the pack, kind of.
That's right.
know.
And fortunately, last year Butterbean had got in a few truck races and did very well. I think North Wilkesboro finished was it third? I think last year.
I thought he was going to win that race.
Yes, I think he could have. If he could have made some moves at the right time and got around the guys earlier than what he did, I really think he could have won that race. That was a good race for him.
It was in his wheelhouse. I think he had maybe raced the Cars Tour that week or maybe the week before. I can't remember.
Yep.
So he had some track time there for sure.
Yeah, he. That was actually the first time that wasn't. The first time they came back to North Wilkesboro was the first time I ever spoke to him in person. So
I used to see him race all the time at Myrtle Beach Speedway. He always had that bright 03 car. It was even brighter than the one up here, I think, a little bit. So I've seen him race for, gosh, I don't know, a decade.
It's kind of funny because I still look at, and he is a young man. He definitely is for sure, but he's 27 years old and kind of old man of the group. When you're talking about stuff like that, because these guys are so young going into the.
But look at Josh Berry. I mean,
that's what I was fixing to say though. But we're kind of getting a resurgence of experience coming back in with the Josh Berries and who knows, maybe Butterbean coming in there. And I mean, when you got that much experience, it can't be anything but good. Yeah,
I think he's doing the right thing. I mean, he's won everything there is to win in late models for the most part, and now he's taking his time. He's doing full time in ARCA. So, I mean, you can't – I mean, that's the old school way of doing things. And I think that's why he won at Daytona. I mean, sure, he's never done super speedways before, but he has a lot of seat time and some very highly competitive races. So.
For sure. Well, like I said, we had a lot going on this show, so we're going to move right along here and go back on Zoom here. We got Quade Schoonover. What's going on, man?
Not much. What's going on with yourself?
Not a whole lot. Am I saying your last name right? Is that correct?
It's actually pronounced Schoonover, but everybody says Schoonover, so I'm cool with whatever.
Us Southerners,
no, you're good.
Us Southerners down here, we get all the letters.
You're good. You're good, man. No worries.
What's going on with you, man? You doing all right today?
Yeah, doing good. Just trying to stay warm. That's the only bad part about living up here in Ohio. It's cold in the wintertime.
What's temperature like up there right now?
I believe it's like 25 degrees out right now.
Too cold.
It's pretty cold here, but not that cold.
It's not that cold. I think we're about in the 40s right now, so
Yeah. Yeah, I'd much rather live down the south for sure.
I pick on your buddy Kale all the time. He's like, man, I wish it was 9 degrees. I'm like, no. We can trade in the summertime. I'll take y'all's low 80s and stuff any day. But but I don't want them zeros and teens and stuff like that. Y'all can keep that.
Yeah, for sure.
So we wanted to get you on here today, man. You are running legend cars up in the Ohio area and a little bit all over. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us where you got your start and a little bit who you are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. I've grew up around racing my whole life. My dad was really big into late model stuff. Right as soon as I was born, and he was kind of venturing his way out. And he basically just didn't get out of it soon enough for me to get the hit of it, I guess you can say. I originally got my start in the racing world whenever I was 13, I think, which was about 5 years ago. I'm 18 years old now. But my dad used to be a fuel salesman, and he used to be a dealer for Renegade Race Fuels.
Gotcha.
And I'm really good friends with a guy named Brian Phipps, who owns Graphic Creations, and he owns a little RC track in Beaver, Ohio. So whenever Dad was still doing the fuel stuff, I used to ride with him all the time. I went out to his shop, looked at the RC stuff, kind of got hooked onto that, and that's just kind of where I got my start in racing in general. I've done that for a couple of years, and then I got a job working for a trucking company. Which kind of, I guess you could say, put my racing career kind of on a pause for a little while. I just started focusing on working and stuff, just get money. And the guy who I worked for, he owned a bunch of trucks, and I would come in on the weekends and I'd wash all of his trucks. And basically, so his whole fleet was clean for the week whenever they made rounds to wherever it was. And he owned a bunch of legend cars, and he knew I wanted to get into the legend car scene. And one day he just wanted all of his legend car stuff out of the shop, and he told me, he said, "Here, just take it all. If you want to do it bad enough, here's your chassis and motor." He gave me all kinds of stuff. He said, "There's your start."
That's the kind of deal I'm talking about right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was a pretty good deal. God definitely blessed me with that for sure.
For sure, man. So give us a little bit of background since you've been running Legends, man. How's it going for you?
It's here recently. We've been doing really, really good. We just came off of our best season yet. I think we had 12 wins, 28 top fives, and 29 top tens out of 32 events. So I think we definitely done pretty decent for the most part.
That's some dang good stats there.
You can only get about 3 races better.
I ain't kidding. That's super good, super good. So tell us a little bit about where are you racing at? Or not everywhere, but obviously, kind of a little bit around the area that you were racing in. What tracks were you hitting up last year?
We hit a lot of the tracks, around Southern to Mid Ohio, Atomic Speedway, Portsmouth we used to go to a lot, which unfortunately is closed down now. But we go to Florence a lot. We're starting to kind of venture into West Virginia a little bit at Beckley Motor Speedway. We got some races out in Indiana at Lawrenceburg Speedway. Got some races in Kentucky too at Rock Castle, Richmond, places like that. Pretty much all around Ohio and the tri-state areas really where, we focus on racing.
I went up there a few years ago. I think it was actually Kale's first year racing. And I say Kale, everybody knows Kale Maven on here. We talked about him. He's been on here, and he's one who hooked up an interview today. So appreciate Kale, as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
But man, I'm going to tell you what, y'all's legend car field up there, dude. I'm gonna tell you what. You think we got some legend cars around here? That dirt group that's up there, and then they run the Ohio Valley Legend Car Series. And man, I'm gonna tell you what, those are some dedicated guys. And I even asked Kale up there when I was like, man, what kind of money y'all racing for? He's like, we don't race for any money. I was like, what? I was like, we wouldn't have nobody around home if we ain't getting anything. We're just changing a little bit. But man, y'all got some dedicated guys up there, and to put on the resume that you have this past year, man, that is no easy feat, because I know some of them guys that are racing up there, and it's a tough crowd.
Yeah, for sure. I think, personally, in my opinion, I think we got some of the best guys to run with. Even though we're all so close, on a competitive scale, there's really only so much you can do the legend cars versus like a late model or a modified or, whatever else. But everybody's friendly. For the most part, everybody likes each other. If somebody's having a bad night or needs something, somebody's almost every time willing to help, somebody out. So I think that plays a big role in the legend class, because it's hard to, I guess you could say, just be in a class and nobody helping you and you have no idea what you're doing, if that makes sense. But I think we got a great group of guys. Absolutely.
And what's it like, traveling like that? Because obviously when you travel like that, you're racing against probably the best at what you do. And then you have the different racing surfaces, the different kind of tracks. How hard is that?
It could definitely be challenging at times, especially when you're going to 10 to 15 different racetracks a year. Every track has their own characteristic, and you just have to adjust, not only the car, but your driving style to certain racetracks. And it's a challenge, I mean, it's the same thing, like the guys on the Lucas Oil Series do, or, even the Cup Series, going to all different types of racetracks. You got to adjust to everything. So it's definitely a challenge for sure.
Definitely so, man. Definitely. So, with that being said, what you looking like for 2025, man? What kind of schedule you got? What kind of racing you doing? All that fun stuff.
Yeah, I actually just finished my schedule a couple days ago. I think we plan on running around 40 to 45 events this year. Obviously, weather permitting, and everything goes as planned. But we got a bunch of good stuff going on. We're actually building a brand new shop as we speak. I'm starting to kind of get my feet wet with taking on some customer cars and doing some in-house stuff. I'm trying to get my feet wet with that. And with that being said, I've absolutely ran out of any room in my old shop. So we're trying to just expand, accordingly, not trying to get into too much at one time, but we're expanding, and I'm excited for this year. We learned a lot last year, testing a bunch of different stuff, and really the main thing was just traveling, going to all these different racetracks, and just getting experience under my belt. So I'm excited for this year, and I think we'll have a better year than what we did last year.
Man, these dirt guys are a different breed. All they do is race, man. Yeah. All they do, they find a racetrack, and I'm pretty sure they'll race around a pond if they let them. So
every day of the week too.
every day.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
As I say race around a pond, I think I've seen a couple videos up there with ponds in the middle of some of these tracks they're racing at, actually. So
what's the difference between I guess racing on dirt and racing on asphalt for a legend car? Do you have to change a whole lot whenever you do that?
Personally, I've never really raced a lot of asphalt, but from what I've been around it, it's completely different. When it comes to not only your driving, but your setup, springs you're running, all kinds of different stuff. I think it's completely different. But another thing is too, I think, on the asphalt side, there's a lot of more aggressive driving on asphalt, versus on dirt. You got multiple, different grooves. You can run the low, the middle, to the high side. When you go on asphalt, it's really just right around the bottom. So I think it's a lot more aggressive, when you go to the asphalt side of things.
You're probably right. I actually just sold my legend car. Well, last season I sold my legend car and we moved to the late model, and racing more asphalt down here. And talking with the guys up there and talking about setups and stuff. Me and Stephen Parton talked a little bit about some setup stuff, and the dirt guys seem to run more off the right rear, and we kind of ran more off the right front. A little bit stiffer stuff on asphalt, and like I said, you kind of drive it till it pushes, whereas on dirt you drive it till it almost spins out. So that's the biggest way. That's the easiest way I know to say it for in layman's terms, anyway. But I'm gonna tell you what, it takes a legend cars are a handful anyway. Mm-hmm. And to run them on dirt, whew, it takes some, you see these 20, 25, maybe 30 lap races. It's because you don't want to run it any longer.
It's got to be bumpy.
Well, it's not even that bumpy. It's just your arms are wore out. I mean, you hear like these dirt bike guys, getting arm pump. It's about like that in a legend car. I mean, you work the steering wheel nonstop. Down straightaways, everything. You're working steering wheel.
Yeah, for sure. I remember whenever we was in Florence, back in April, we had like a 30, 35 lap shootout or something, and I was thinking the same thing whenever that was all done. I'm like, I don't understand how, like late model guys can do 100 laps around this place. You know what I mean? Because you'd be dead the next day. I would think.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, and driving a legend car, driving a bigger car. The legend cars are hard. It's fun. It is a ton of fun, but it's probably the hardest car you'll ever drive. Other stuff, you got a big old tire to lean on and everything. And I mean, they're modifieds, they're a handful too, from what I hear on dirt, because you run on an 8-inch tire. But as far as big car stuff, man, you feel like you're driving Miss Daisy out there in a big car as compared to a legend car.
Yeah.
So man, tell us all who you got to thank for helping you out and all that fun stuff, and who's helping you out this year.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I want to thank all my sponsors. I want to thank Amanda Fife and Zany Burden with Glass House Realty. Want to give a shout out to Dr. Nickel, Hillsborough Family Dentistry, Doug Hester with Gunnersville Custom Firearms. I'm trying to think. I want to make sure I get everybody. I want to thank Redline, Mark and the crew down there. They've hopped on for this year, and they wanted to be a part of our program, so appreciate him. I also want to thank Engine Ice and Swift Springs. I want to thank Willie Ridenhour with 316. I also want to thank my mom and dad, obviously. Without them, none of this would be possible. I want to thank TOD TechCom, for Troy Dotson, and I believe that's it.
Good deal, man.
I hope so.
Good deal,
or else
man.
I'm going to get you in after this is done.
There we go. Nah, you'll be good. So when's racing start up for y'all?
Our first weekend is April the 4th and 5th at Moeller and Atomic. Obviously, weather permitting. Always end of March, early April's always crapshoot. So
yeah. Well, cool, man. Cool deal. Well, man, we sure appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, and obviously we can talk about it anytime about some wins. So we'll have to get you back on here, soon, and talk about some of them, man.
Sounds like it'll be in April.
It probably will.
Hopefully that's the case.
Well, good deal, buddy. Well, we sure appreciate you, man, and we'll be glad to have you back on anytime. Appreciate you.
Hey, sounds good. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Have a good one, buddy.
Hey, you too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Quade Schoonover. Let me get that right. I'm sorry.
Well, I play the World of Outlaw video game. That's about my dirt experience.
There you go.
I go out to Lakeview every now and then.
I just like that you got the old school NASCAR logo here. It looks like it come off papyrus.
Yeah.
That is, and as I'm like, I was sitting there thinking about that a minute ago. I looked on screen. I was like, that looks like the old papyrus NASCAR racing logo. I was like, that is sweet.
I got it at Walmart for like $10 or something.
What I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Nah, that is. I'm gonna tell you, legend cars are a handful. I loved racing them. They were a lot of fun. We ran them for a couple of years, about 3 years, and had some success with it, and decided to get the bigger car. But I'm gonna tell you, and I tell everybody, as opposed to the legend car to the late model style car, the legend car is a lot harder to drive. It is that is a handful, just because short wheelbase, low weight, and I mean the horsepower to weight ratio is pretty high. They're pushing out, I don't know what the new ones are, but I think they're 140 to 150 horsepower, but they only weigh 1,200 pounds. Whereas let's say a Charger type car like I'm driving, you looking, I don't even know what the actual horsepower is on, but I'm going to say around 350 to 400 ish.
Mm-hmm.
But we're 3,200 pounds. So, your horsepower to weight ratio is a lot more on that, lot bigger on that legend car, and you feel every bit of it. when you get out and hit the gas in the big car, you feel it pulling, and it's all right. But that legend car, man, it feels like you all over the place.
I know Toby Milligan, who races out at Florence Motor Speedway every now and then. He let me drive one of his Chargers cars out at Florence Motor Speedway, and I was just amazed because when you're sitting there on pit lane, it's like, I can hardly see over. But once you get going, it's like you're one with the car. Yeah. And I couldn't get over the fumes that you breathe in kind of when you do this.
It can get that way.
And it's just after 35 laps or so, man, I was done. Like, I had enough. It was fun. But, man, I was worn out.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, and this past summer was the first year that I really ran the big car through the summer. Mm-hmm. Boy, it gets hot in them things. I don't like being hot. I'm sorry. I just don't. I was like, I'm buying a cool suit, I'm buying whatever, and that's one thing I can say about the legend car. But this is funny, and I've told a few people this. The tracks around here, for whatever reason, they want to give a lot of parade laps and caution laps in the legend car class. And I'm like, no, get us going, because you talk about fumes. Well, the exhaust is actually in front of the driver door in a legend car. And, dude, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if it affects anybody else. Maybe it's just me. But I was sitting there under caution, and I'm like, oh, my God, we got to go, because it's just like the whole inside of the car is just filled with fumes from the – and especially when somebody's beside you, especially if you're on the inside of somebody and they're riding right there, it's just their exhaust coming in your car too. So it's like, oh, this is horrible.
I understand.
We got to go.
I know shooting photos on the NASCAR level at Bristol or Martinsville short track where cars are just constantly going around, I get sick myself just from all the fumes.
It can.
Especially now that they got dual exhaust that's coming out.
And they're so loud now on pit road. So loud. But I will say, I don't know if you've ever messed with it any. Being from Darlington, I figure you should have. But back in the day when I used to race go-karts a long time ago, I don't know how many go-kart races you've been to, but they used to run methanol in go-karts. And boy, let me tell you, it was, your eyes, by the time you get going, you can't see nothing because your eyes are just burning from whatever cart's in front of you. It's not quite as bad now. They run regular gas now, but back when we was running methanol, boy, that was something else.
I photographed some NHRA races at Charlotte, and I stand on top of the big building, and all those fumes just go. Sit there crying, taking pictures because it stings so bad.
That is one of those, and we went and stood by John Force's pit, and at Charlotte one time, and they seated in the clutch. You know how they do all that out there, and that was the first time I'd been to one, and Sterling was with me, and he's like, "Man, we got to go there. You got to just smell nitro up close." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go over there, and I'm like, "Oh God, that's horrible. Let's go see another one."
You got those fans with the gas mask on there, living it up.
So that is crazy for sure. And but we got some more stuff. So we appreciate Quade Schoonover coming over on here, and best of luck to him this year, this season. And we'll be talking with him some more, I think, probably about some good wins here. But it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for The Dirt with Racin Jason. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Another day in paradise, another Monday.
Y'all living the dream. I'm not.
You love it. Know you love it. Oh, what's up with you, man? How's it going?
That's going good, man. It's going good. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing well.
Doing good, buddy. Good. It is the Mondayest Monday, one of those deals. As long as I don't have a Monday 2.0 this week, it's okay.
Yeah, one's enough. We don't need two or three in a week. No.
That's right. Man, obviously we talked about last week, Volusia. That was the hot topic last week. Know you caught all of it and everything else there was to catch in the dirt world. So, because I tried to get him to watch some other racing, he's like, "Nope, I'm watching this."
What did I text you? See that asphalt, is that igneous? Is that centimeter? What What kind of material is that?
Yeah, he don't even know. He was talking about.
Yeah,
I was watching a truck race. He talking about they pulling boats. I was like, yeah, whatever.
It's a joke, NASCAR fans. It's a joke, okay?
So tell us what all went on down at the dirt version of Speed Weeks down there in the Florida.
Well, Longhorn. There you go. Pick your Longhorn and roll with it. It's all you can't go wrong.
I tell you what I tell you last week. I said I don't think you can beat them.
Nope. And somebody on this show picked two drivers that did very well this week. I wonder who that was. Do you remember? Oh, that was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't disagree.
JB, man. Let me tell you something too, Dave. Let me tell you something. If JD comes out the gate this fast, it's gonna be a good year for the 49 team.
It is. I feel like myself, and I've said this. Not that he's been bad by no means, but the past couple of years is kind of, 3 years ago, great. He was the fastest thing out there. Past year, 2-ish, year and a half-ish, he just hadn't been the JD that, Jonathan Davenport, the Superman that we knew. He'd win a race here and there, but he just wasn't just dominating Superman that we knew. But I think, other than dealing with, Ricky Thornton, he might be back.
Safe to say. Safe to say. Yeah, no doubt. Well, I tell you what's had a pretty good week this week. Cade Dillard had a pretty good week this week. Max Blair had a good week this week. Brandon Overton. Solid top fives for the Longhorn house car. I mean,
Oh yeah.
David, I got some news for you, bro.
We got breaking news.
We got a chassis swap already this year, bro.
Already? Who we got?
Donald McIntosh, who's running for Lucas Oil Rookie of the Year, is switching from double nickel to, if you can't beat him, join him. Longhorn.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yes, sir.
Didn't see that. I didn't have that on my bingo card, but I can't blame him. Can you?
I mean, if you can't beat him, join him. Yeah, that's all you can do. David. Now, according to my race pass, there's a certain driver that was signed up for Lucas Oil since he got his new ride, this year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I believe we knew. I'm not going to go there, but do the math here. Do the math. He signed up to run Lucas Oil, and according to my race pass, it's not on his personal website, but according to my race pass, he is switching over to the World of Outlaws.
New ride
We'll
this year?
find out more when Lucas Oil goes to Atomic and Brownstown in 2 weeks. World of Outlaws are going to be at Swainsboro. Yeah, I'll be there. And we'll find out. We'll see what they got. See who goes where. But according to my race pass, this driver was signed up for Lucas Oil from the get-go, and now he's going to switch over to World of Outlaws. Interesting.
Good or bad thing, you think? In your eyes?
More the merrier. Hey, more the merrier, man. I'm telling you. Hey, somebody give Pierce a run.
There you go. Well, I got to ask, since you text me, I think this was Friday night, and you sent me a little thing that says World of Outlaws greater than Lucas Oil.
Mm-hmm. The roster to me, World of Outlaws is more. I guess you could say more drivers, but from bottom to end, they look to me pretty much, high parity. I mean, you could put up RTJ, you could take Bobby Pierce. All right, there's your 1-2 right there. You could take Davenport. You can take Gusta. There you go, right there, head to head. I mean, to me, both rosters are about the same.
I'm not going to lie to you. What I've always wished myself was that they would come up with some kind of little, maybe finish their seasons earlier, then come up with like a little all-star run, take the top 5 of – now you've got, even the Hunter Front stuff and, maybe even a couple more. Take the top 5 of a few different ones and put it in a little 5-race all-star deal or something like that. And I'm like, that would be awesome.
Well, David, we have that. It's called the Flow Night Racing in America.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Where they went. That's where they went with that. I think they were trying to do like an ARCA Series. That's why they came up with the Flow Racing Night in America.
Yeah, but that's during the season. I'm saying let's go after the season.
It's kind of like Supercross and Motocross.
Yes,
like they have that Super Motocross now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's go one step better, Dave. How about bring back Prelude to the Dream?
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. That is exactly because I think that now with the talent that is in NASCAR and where they have come from, the Tyler Reddicks, the Kyle Larsons and stuff like that, that would be an awesome race now. And even Chase Elliott, I watched him at Bristol, and man, he wasn't bad in that car at all. I mean, it looked like if you gave him some more time in it, he'd be good. Kyle Busch, even he didn't look bad at all in the car, and which was the coolest prelude to the dream when he drove Scott Bloomquist's car, in my opinion. That was awesome. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's bring that back. Throw some dirt guys in there with them. And let's really make a race out of it. What track would you run? I say I know you probably gonna say take it to Fairbury or something, but I liked it at Eldora. Personally, what you think, Hunter? I think Fairbury could handle it. Fairbury could handle it. It's too. I like Knoxville. I like Knoxville. That's a good. Because I think that's what most people know. Yeah. What you think? What track would you have it at? Go track in Charlotte. You're right here. I was about to say that too. That would be a convenient one for it. Yeah, and it's not a bad track at all. I mean, it would race very racy. It is, and it's a technical track too. It's not actually. You look at it and you just think, oh, we're gonna run the bottom or get something up top. Nah, you might run the bottom in 1 and 2. You might run the top in 3 and 4. You never know. That line moves around on that track a lot. David, that we talked about last week, since they put the new dirt down there, it just needs more races. That's all it needs. It needs more races. But, man, that place has got to be a gym. Yep.
It's a wonderful facility, too. Top notch.
It is.
Class act. Love it. Love the World Finals. My favorite race of the year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Did I say that over Fairbury?
No. Well, you said it's your favorite race. You didn't say it was your favorite racetrack.
There you go.
There you go.
See, David, that's why you get paid a big bucks. Right?
Yeah.
I got one more news item here. I don't know if you noticed that Southern Thunder is canceled this weekend for Clarksville due to, I guess, inclement weather.
It's cold.
Yeah. Should they call it snow, ain't they?
I know. He's up in where you at? You in
Blythewood, right outside Columbia.
Yeah, Blythewood. He's so yeah, they're calling for some nastiness Wednesday night. So yeah, well, I'm tired of that stuff.
Me too, bro. Hey, here it is, almost March. Come on, man. Will you get out of here, please? Get out of here.
It's supposed to start warming up at this point.
You know when my spring starts next Sunday, March Madness at Cherokee. That's when I know it's spring.
There you go.
When March Madness is here, it's springtime. Let's go, baby.
There you go.
I've always wanted to go up to Cherokee. I've never been there.
It's fun.
Oh, come on, man. Sunday, let's go. The second roll is roll.
Don't go. I love the track. I think it's one of the best tracks ever. Do not go to that track and expect to walk around the pits when there was any chance of rain or it rained that day. Oh, my God. We sat there with Chris Ferguson, and literally he had to stand on the side of the truck because mud was about a foot deep.
That'd be a long drive home.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah. It tends to get a river through there.
It is bad.
Yeah,
but
pretty bad.
It was a lot of fun. Well, I got lucky, and this is how long ago it was, and it was great because it started raining, and we were like, man, where can we go? and I look and I see Mackie Flood and Scott Bloomquist standing there. I'm like, we're going to Scott's trailer. And we just went inside Scott's trailer and stood there forever. I was like, look outside, and I'm like, is it still raining? Yep, no, we still in here. We chilling in here. There you go. Got that Bloomquist shirt on.
We were at Cherokee, Lucas Oil. They were gonna get the show in. Thank goodness we already qualified and heat raced. We were main events. We didn't lead. I think the main event took the track like 2:30 in the morning.
Jeez,
Wow.
So yeah, I pulled them out of yard. Never again. I pulled them out of yard at 6:48 that Sunday morning.
man.
Yeah.
That's rough there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
That is rough.
That's one reason why it's
And
hard.
like I said, man, hey, I'm just glad we qualified and got the heat races in. Thank goodness for that.
That's why it's hard for me to shoot photos at these dirt tracks, because I mean, I'll go to a track and they don't start till 9:30 or so. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go home by this point.
Dude, I remember the last. I say last race. I didn't even see the race, but I remember the last race that I went to was last year that Dublin was open. Mm-hmm. I loved Dublin. That was one of the best tracks. Dude, I'm telling you, I loved that place. But it come up a shower. They had already, worked the track, or they had already plowed the track up and went to start packing it, and by the time it come up a downpour. So it made an absolute mess. And it didn't rain long, but it was just enough just to make an absolute mess. They worked the track, packed the track. They finally got the first practice on the track at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I left at about 2:45. They were in the second round. Well, because they ran the first round of practice just to pack the track some more. They had to run a second round of practice to actually, give them some practice. And I got home, and when I got home, I looked, and they were starting the mains, and I was driving all the way back to Florence.
That's when you got to say, man, just throw the towel in. Come on, man. Just give up. Give up.
They meant they were going to run that race that night. I was like, y'all don't need it that bad. I promise you don't.
God bless them. That's all I can tell you. God bless them, bro.
I'm telling you. So what we got going on this week, man?
This week we got what we got this week? I don't think we got anything really this week, man. Next week's gonna be the big thing. Got Swainsboro next week, that Friday, and leave straight from work, take Saturday off, and go to Cherokee Sunday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
And the week after that, we got World of Outlaws. No, I'm sorry, Lucas Oil. And no, it's World of Outlaws at Smoky Mountain.
That'd be a good one. Is that the one that they're is gonna be the Scott Bloomquist Memorial? I know I saw something at Smoky Mountain they were going to do a Scott Bloomquist Memorial race. Have you heard?
I don't know.
You hadn't heard
this coming up? I have no. I do not. I got to look that up. I'm glad you said that. I have no idea. I'll get you on Twitter with that. I do not know.
Because I saw somewhere that they said Smoky Mountain was going to have a Scott Bloomquist Memorial race. I didn't know if they were going to throw that in there.
Oh, I need to look that up. I really don't know.
Sweet. What you got right there? What you got?
Falls, baby.
Oh,
Fairberry beer, man.
Falls. Fairberry. He loves some
Fairberry beer,
Fairberry.
bro.
You something else.
We got to get you to Fairberry.
I'm going to get out there.
You haven't lived, David. You haven't lived till you get to Fairberry.
Oh, God. My tiki talk don't want to go. There we go. Yeah, I need to get out there, man. That's gonna be that's cool. Like I said, my buddies with Dirty Grass Soul have asked me to come out there a couple times and with SRI and stuff. And I need to take them up on it sometime.
There's your ticket right there. There's your ticket right there, man. You got to go. You got to go to February.
We'll do it. We're gonna make that happen sometime.
Sounds good to me. PDC, baby. Let's go.
There you go. Well, cool, man. Well, what else you got? Anything else?
Let's see. Nope. I think that's all the news I got right now.
Well, there you go. There is the dirt with Racin Jason. I appreciate you,
David,
man.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. We it's fun. It's been a good start to our year. This new segment we've had on the show here, third time out. It's been good.
Oh, I'm glad. Hey, man, as long as you enjoy it, man. Hey, I'm enjoying it.
We love
if
it,
you're
man.
happy, I'm happy. How about that, bro?
We love it, man. We absolutely
All
love
right.
it.
That's Big 10-4. I can't do like Kenny, but okay.
All right, buddy. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up, but man, we sure appreciate you, and we'll be talking with you next week.
All right, bud. Keep the wheels spinning and the pittlers is grinning.
Take it easy.
Take care, bud. Later.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Our buddy Racin Jason there with all the dirt there. Something else. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
a lot of fun. I'm with him though on that. I know. Let's bring back the prelude.
That's very important. I mean, I love the idea of having a big all-star race at the end of the year too. I mean, with the two late model divisions there.
I just feel like there's so much correlation now between NASCAR and dirt racing.
Mm-hmm.
I know they got away from the dirt races, and but
well, those are sports cars that they race now. Almost,
yeah,
it's kind of hard
to put that on dirt.
I wish the trucks still went to Eldora.
Yes. Eldora and Knoxville wasn't as bad, but I mean it wasn't bad, but I don't know, it didn't have the feel Eldora had.
Mm-hmm.
The trucks put on a great show there, I thought, and I was like, man, why are we taking those off the schedule? But I can get it because I know Kyle Busch said one time that race didn't really pay a whole lot. It paid pretty much what it cost to hang the body on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew when they went there, they had to put a whole body on the truck. I mean,
see, the problem is you only have 15, 20,000 fans there. I mean, you're very limited on how much money the track can make. That's why it's very difficult. Even with the All-Star, with the Clash being held at Bowman Gray, I mean, it can't grow any bigger. It's as big as it can get.
Let's talk about it real quick because you're more on that business side sometimes. I feel like, and this is just from coming from a sheer fan perspective on it, we look at it and say, like you just said, it can't grow. It feels like to us, NASCAR isn't really looking for the fans in the seat necessarily anymore. It's more like, and obviously they've had a new broad TV deal. That was a hot topic for so long. It feels like they're just leaning more towards, hey, let's get the numbers up on TV. Let's get that TV deal better and better. Is that what it actually is, or is that just how it comes across to the fans?
The TV is what pays the bills. I think that the Clash should be a permanent thing at Bowman Gray, and let's put North Wilkesboro on the permanent schedule. Then
points race.
Yep, points race. So then every All-Star race, we go to a different short track. Maybe for 3 consecutive years or something like that. That way, the NASCAR money helps build that track up a little bit better, and those tracks get spotlit. I mean, imagine a All-Star race at South Boston Speedway. I mean, that would be
awesome.
Incredible. And that facility is probably pretty close to being ready, other than
a
safer wall. So, and then of course you can go to Berlin, you can go to all these other places out west, and all that. So that's what I think. I mean, that's a way to help give the grassroots people what they need, and then also you're reinvesting back into what's growing the sport at the bare bones.
There you go.
Part.
All right. Well, now I understand a little more. All right. Well, we got to run over a little bit of what all went on this week, and because we've had so many guests on already today. Real quick, let's hit an ad in there real quick.
Chicken Bone Alley is brought to you by SRI Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all things racing. Do you need performance parts? Look no further. They offer a wide range of high-performance parts for various types of racing, including stock car racing, dirt racing, and more. SRI Performance also has the most knowledgeable employees in the industry. If you're looking for that hard-to-find part, they've got it. And if you're wondering how to make it work on your car, they know it. Check them out online at www.sriperformance.com. And when you do, don't forget to use the promo code CBONE10. That's C as in chicken, BONE10, and get 10% off at checkout. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum is a full-line steel service center stocking thousands of sizes, shapes, grades, and types of metals and plastic. If you need it, they have it. And if not, they work fast to find what you need and get it to you. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum also has the ability to cut orders to your specifications as requested. Their dedicated team not only brings many years of experience to the table, but they are always ready and willing to lend a hand with anything you may need. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Your material needs are covered here.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, what you think our good friends over at Profab Headers and Exhaust. Profab Headers and Exhaust, they are quality that wins. Just look this past weekend at Daytona, and almost every car out there, Profab headers on them. So y'all go check them out. They got anything all the way from, I don't care if you're running a street stock, all the way up to Cup or IndyCar, everything in between. They got a header and exhaust system for you. So go check out Profab Headers and Exhaust. Also, our good friends right here in Florence, South Carolina, Dixie Made, right here by the flea market. If you're in the area, if you come down for whatever reason, check out our good friends over at Dixie Made. They got all the cool brands that you look for, all the Drake waterfowl, let's see, Southern Fried Cotton, Simply Southern, all the great brands that everybody's looking for, and they can get you from head to toe. If you're looking for a hat, if you're looking for flip-flops, and everything in between. So go check out our good friends at Dixie Made. Also, Earl Ramey Racing Engines. He is your stop for power. Go check out Earl Ramey. If you got a race car of any sort, he can hook you up. He can help you out. Go get some time on his chassis dyno. In my car right over here, there's an Earl Ramey Racing engine in it, and I believe in it. It's good power. So y'all go check Earl out. He can hook you up for sure. All righty. Well, we got to get to some, we just talked about it, some racing from Daytona, all the action that went on down there, and you are entrenched in all the NASCAR stuff. So I want to get your reaction from a little bit of it. Let's go with something that was a little controversial to start the week. I say start the week, start a little bit ahead. Elio Castroneves guaranteed a spot in the Daytona 500. Now, I want to preface this. This is my opinion only. There's zero knock on Elio Castroneves. And our friend Butterbean was teammates with him at PRG for the ARCA race. And I think Elio actually did a good job with the time he was given in the car. So this is zero knock on him. I am not trying to say that. Basically, if you don't know, real quick, the rule was he was guaranteed into the Daytona 500. If he qualified in on time or through the duels, they got to race for, I guess, some money, pretty much what it was. If he didn't, he got a 41st starting position. No money or points were awarded to the team at all. Well, he got bounced around like a ping pong ball all weekend and unfortunately didn't make the race on time or through the duel, so he was granted a 41st starting position. Okay, I'm kind of with, I guess I'll say, with Kyle Busch on the issue myself. I feel like, no knock on Elio, I feel like he could have come ran. If he wants to come run, try to get in, great. I feel like if we got a provisional, though, let's use the past champions. Use the Martin Truex Jr.'s, Jimmy Johnson, something like that. Personally, that's just me. Now, I get wanting to bring people in from other sports, get other eyes on it. I 100% get it. But that's just where I am with it, because I guess we'll say, let's use Kyle Larson as an example. IndyCar didn't give him a way into the Indy 500. He had to go race his way into it. Just my way of thinking. But that's me. What you think?
Yeah, I think if it stays with professional race car drivers, I think it's an okay rule because, IndyCar, say that Lewis Hamilton wants to come over and race. Obviously, he doesn't have probably obviously he has the money to do it, but
Right.
he may not have the resources or the time
Yep.
to come from England or wherever it is he's living and practice and do all this stuff before the race. The question comes is, what if Tom Cruise wants to come race? I think that's one of the drivers brought that up. I think this needs to stay very professional drivers that make a living doing this for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I see the other side of it too. You don't want, just because you're a past champion, you don't want some washed up driver to
I agree with
go in there and crash because, they haven't raced in a while. But, Truex raced just last year. Jimmy Johnson's not, he raced last year too.
Right.
He's not that far away. I'm a fan of everyone having to race their way in. I like
too.
the old
I am
school
too.
way of doing it. I don't think it's a bad rule. I just think it's a little early to tell because who's next and what do you call a celebrity driver, I guess. What's the definition of that? So,
And I don't think throughout the rest of the year it's going to be an issue because, we've seen it the past couple of years. We're not getting 40 cars at every race.
You'll probably see someone like, Willpower at the Brickyard or something like that.
Exactly. So I think Daytona is probably going to be the one place that it's an issue. The 500 is going to be the one place that's an issue. And like I said, it's no knock on anybody because, hey, if that's the rule you're dealt and they let you come do it, great, go do it. And I see no bad in getting them over there. I don't know. I feel like we need to give back a little bit to the guys that our champions.
I say you give a late model guy a chance.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what.
If you win the late model championship for NASCAR, you get a start in the Daytona.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like, this is just me. If you win a NASCAR championship, whether that be a truck series, Xfinity series, late model, modified, NASCAR wheeling, those are the guys you guarantee a spot in there.
You could even do like Budweiser used to do for the Bud Shootout. Maybe at Bowman Gray, you have some show and have all these champions.
There you go.
Pick out a Busch Light or something.
There you go.
As the starting spot. So.
That's exactly right. But I feel like to progress the series, I feel like at least an Xfinity Series driver should be okay. You won the title. This is what you get right here.
I guess the big question comes is they turned down Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
And then they gave Helio, who had zero super speedway experience, to do that. But Helio also drives at 220 miles an hour constantly. So it's, his reaction time and his health is...
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But I was on the side of, yes, he's got experience in race car. I'm not disagreeing with that. But he don't have experience in a stock car.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't have experience in a stock car at Daytona, which that showed in the duel when, they got in an accident. He knew the toe link was broke, but he didn't realize what that car would do when he done it. Well, he hits the apron, he shoots it straight into the wall. Mm-hmm. Thank God it wasn't any worse than it was because it could have been bad if other cars were coming, or if he would have got hurt or anything like that. And that's just, and granted, Mike Wallace wouldn't have had that experience either because he has not driven the next gen car. But I don't know. I felt like Mike Wallace should have been given a chance to, and I think that's my biggest thing. It's not necessarily even that Elio got the provisional to start. I just feel like Mike Wallace should have got the chance to try. Whether it be if they tell him, okay, you can come do it, but you got to run the ARCA practice. You got to run the ARCA race, something like that before you're approved to do it. Okay, you hadn't run 10 years, whatever, or 50, whatever, however long it's been. I just feel like it should have been a chance there. You know what I'm saying?
They may have known something that we all don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mike is,
probably so.
Is Mike 60?
65, I think.
That's that's not old, but that's old for a Cup driver.
And he also had there was some social media negativity between him and NASCAR a few years back too. So maybe some people didn't forget. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, through the duels, let's see. I'm trying to remember all. Justin Allgaier raced his way in.
That's huge. I think he got, top 10, I think, on Sunday.
Yeah, he got ninth on Sunday, which was really big. Junior Motorsports bringing their car their first time.
I think we're going to see a full-time junior car soon. He seemed a little excited.
Did you see the tweet today?
I did not, no.
Junior put out, he said, I could really get used to this Junior Motorsports Cup social media. So it was just like, he likes the cryptic type tweets, and I don't know, just come across that way. Let's see, Jimmy Johnson made it in, Martin Truex made it in, Corey LaJoie.
Oh man, he had such a great race on Sunday. I mean,
yes, he did.
Man, he was right there.
I really felt like. Another thing, real quick, while we're talking about that, yes, he had a great one. Mm-hmm. He had some comments that some people did not take very kindly to over the past few weeks. Said he would rather go run, 5 Cup races than race in front of the. What did he say? The 24 people or 22 people something in the stands, watching a truck race.
Yeah,
there were a lot of people didn't take kindly to those remarks, and I don't know. I didn't like it either. I personally, it maybe didn't mean it in a bad way. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, from the race track to the race car side to the media side, every day is a blessing when you're in NASCAR. Yes. I mean, you might. This weekend in Atlanta might be my last race for whatever reason, or it might be Corey LaJoie's last Daytona 500. I mean, you just never know when your last day is on the top level like that. And, I look up to Xfinity drivers and truck drivers as much as I do Cup drivers. I mean, I kind of see what he's saying. Like, once you taste the best of the best, it's hard to go back, because, I mean, you don't see NFL players going back to college or so on and so forth. But NASCAR is NASCAR, and it doesn't matter if it's trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. It's the best drivers in the country at the time. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess he has another career doing podcasting, too. So he may not need to go down.
He's got those big sponsors on his. So obviously we talked about the ARCA race earlier. Our good friend Butterbean got the win in it. Mm-hmm. Truck Series race. Parker Kligerman took the checker flag after a wreck, but was DQ'd on a height. And Corey Heim ended up, being declared winner. I will say the team did say they were appealing it. I can't really blame them for appealing that at Daytona if it's a very small amount, as much as you get hit around out there.
Well, during the whenever they opened up the Xfinity coverage, he was he was up in the booth, and he said he won that race. He thinks that they're going to win that appeal. I don't know how low. I don't really understand what that means. Like, I don't understand how drivers are clear before the race and how are they not clear after the race necessarily. And then also, I remember maybe a decade or so ago, Carl Edwards won at Dover, and I think he was too high. Mm-hmm. But there was no advantage to being too high, but he still got docked points. So I don't know.
They'll tell you there's no advantage.
I don't know if being too low is. Well, I guess there's less downforce. So
yeah, too low is you're sealing. From a race car perspective, too low, you're sealing off the bottom of the car, not getting air under it, which putting air over the top of it. Getting too high at Dover, you're getting that spoiler up in there. And really, they probably had a soft spring on it, and it was really pushing down, giving a lot of downforce to that car. They'll tell you there was no advantage at all to that. That was not a performance advantage. It was a performance advantage. But I could see where they could win this appeal. Yeah. That's one that's been overturned a few times. Because of just the truck was beat up. I think every truck out there got hit multiple times.
I hate it when it's 11 o'clock on a Friday night and I'm halfway done writing the story and they break the news. I got to start all over again.
See, mine was easy. I made a post and I was like, Parker Kligerman wins. I went back, edit, scratch that, make one, Corey Heim wins.
I remember one year at Darlington Raceway, it was late too. Denny Hamlin got DQ.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I was there.
Had to start all over, I think at like midnight or something.
Still wasn't as bad as that first Eric Jones win there. Mm-hmm. That was late. Xfinity Series, Jesse Love.
Mm-hmm. Man, those Richard Childress cars,
Dude,
they
strong.
just have it going.
Yeah.
It's super speedways for sure.
For sure. What you think about the racing, just overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the trucks put on some of the best shows at Daytona. And then, Xfinity was good. I thought it was a little quiet. Not that we want to see cars get tore up, but I thought it was a very quiet, unusually quiet race.
I'm with you there. All right, so we talked about it a little bit. Let's get into it. The Cup Series, rain, as always, delayed the start of the Daytona. Well, it didn't delay the start necessarily. It just delayed. It got started, then we stopped.
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours. Seems like what happens there almost every year here lately. I'm like, y'all just need to move this race back to 5 o'clock.
I like noon starts.
I like noon starts too, but it just don't seem to work there for whatever reason. All right, this is where I'm trying to remember who it was that said it, and I was like, man, it was Riley Hurts said it, and I 100% agree with him. I love Daytona 500. I never think you should change. There's a few races I think you should never change the length of, and one being the Daytona 500, the Southern 500, the 600 at Charlotte, whatever we're calling that this year. And really, that's about it. That's 3 races. I'm good with any other race. I like the Brickyard, obviously having. But regardless, I don't think you should change it. But Riley Hurts said, basically, we should just turn this into a 60-lap race, and we would actually race the whole time. Because you're going to have one pit stop in the middle of it, and you can go the rest of the way. I'm not on board, and I don't think you can put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point, but I'm not liking this fuel mileage racing at super speedways. I don't know. It's not my thing.
I'm not an engineer, so
I'm not
I
either.
can't really.
I'm not either.
I don't know how to make it better. I just know that the pack is tighter than it has ever been.
It is,
and when one person messes up, it's just there goes a quarter of the field. I mean, maybe even half the field. It's I liked on yesterday that they were racing the whole time. It seemed like, I mean, they were 3 wide, 10 rows deep. It seemed like for quite some time. So I'm surprised that they didn't crash more or crash sooner. But yeah, and I was kind of surprised at some of the moves that the veterans made at the end too. I think that, Stenhouse and Logano, I think both of them were a little too aggressive there, but I'm not behind the wheel and I'm not going to get $1 million paychecks or whatever the money it is that pays out for it. But, that wreck in particular took out the winners. I mean, the people that were going to win if they didn't crash out. And not to take anything away from William Byron, but I mean, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, I mean, they were up there the whole time. I think what was it? Penske led like 100 laps or something like that as an organization. So, man, and then of course Ryan Preece doing a wheelie and then flying for a little bit. It shows you how far safety has come and how safe these cars are now. I know that they, whenever they hit something head on or back into something, we might have some work to do there, but man, these cars have flipped and they come out just fine. So
they have, but I'm with you. I mean, for Ryan Preece to be able to just walk out of it was great. But we got to keep him on the ground somehow. Now, granted, I know we're running 200 mile an hour and flips are just going to happen.
I don't know if it's possible.
I don't know if it's possible either, but what I will say is this is the first time that I can remember in NASCAR. I mean, there may have been other times that I've ever seen a car flip while going forward.
Yeah. I wonder
Sideways, backwards, forward, and just lift off like that. I really think, I'm not an engineer either, but I mean, I look at it and I'm like, there's a big old belly pan under this car now. It's got to be, when that car comes up, it's got to be giving lift to the car. I mean, there's no way around that. Because the car is slowing, as he's wrecking, he's slowing down. Mm-hmm. And it's still just...
Yeah, I don't know. You know, he hit that car. What was that, Kyle Busch? No. He hit someone right beside
John Hunter, wasn't it? I think it was John Hunter.
Yeah, but that just maybe changed the direction of him a little bit. It was wild. It was like a video game.
It was. It was.
I don't know if you can keep 200-mile-an-hour cars on the ground because, I mean, just look at the summer shootout at Charlotte. I mean, they have typically one legend car that flips over and they're going, you know, however fast, under 100 mile an hour for sure.
We could flip them things in this room right here, I think.
It's just, and then, at Florence Motor Speedway, Matt Cox went over, I think last year. So I don't know if you can keep a 200-mile-an-hour car down without making significant adjustments to where something just comes out and slows the car down. But I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
One of our racers from over at Florence, Robert here, asking, or Florence and Dylan, asking, how do we feel about the debris caution before Logano was going to get overtaken? If there's debris, there's debris. Yeah. I mean, that's all you can say about it. I think, I'm on one of them that debris caution's fine. Mm-hmm. Just show me the debris.
I think there could have been debris because we had so many crash cars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think there was debris. I mean, until I see evidence there wasn't, I guess.
I agree.
But I understand what the fans are all thinking. Sure. I mean, for sure.
For sure. So, anyway, like you said, William Byron goes on to win. After when he came across the line to lap 4, he was, 7th or 9th or something like that. Mm-hmm. I know on the backstretch he was like 7th when they started wrecking. Some people was like, it's not, he wasn't really racing right at the front. He wouldn't, I don't know. I feel like that's just a game you play now in super speedway racing.
If you're in the top 10 on the last lap, you have a chance to win. Tyler Reddick. Now, I think in his interview he said he came from 16th or something like that. I'm not entirely sure because I wasn't watching him on that last lap, but I think his quote said that he came from like 16. Now that's wild.
Impressive.
Yeah. So to finish second like that, so
yeah.
In fact, I think that's only the second Daytona 500 he's ever finished.
You talking about
Tyler Reddick?
Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a stat about William Byron said only 2 times in his Daytona 500s has he finished better than 21st.
Wow.
Both of those have been a win. So it's like, that's pretty stout there.
I'll tell you that I think Chase Briscoe was in the best spot because he
had a good car.
He wrecked, but he saved it. He ran in the back the whole time and was making his way up. And I think he was in a good chance to win that race if the caution hadn't come out.
I think Christopher Bell had a fast car, but his car could not be pushed for some reason. It was like every time somebody touched him, and obviously so. I mean, he was one they started to wreck with when Ryan Preece flipped. But that car could not be touched. It couldn't be pushed at all.
We're starting to get back to where the OEMs aren't matching up now. They used to match up a little bit. I like it too. But they were saying, the Fords, that's how they led so many laps because they were able to stick together more easily. So it's going to be interesting. It's I like these OEM wars.
For sure. Well, now we're going to how you feel about it? Do you call it a super speedway?
I do. I call it
like a super speedway now?
Yeah. I'm there taking pictures. They're going pretty fast to me.
They're flying for sure.
I love it. I absolutely love a 1.5 mile super speedway.
I feel like, though, maybe after, it may happen this year, but I feel like after another year or two, especially after that track really gets some age on it, or, once since the repave, I feel like they're going to have to start lifting a little more, probably, and it's going to get away from the little bit of pack racing. I think. I don't know. Who knows?
It could be like an old school Daytona. You had 4 or 5 cars going
I was good with old school Daytona.
Yeah.
A little bit of bump, a little bit of you couldn't just run up on everybody because you would spin somebody out, and there was a little bit of handling to it. And so I kind of like Atlanta in that way now. So how you feel about it?
I love it. I'll be there this weekend covering it, taking pictures. It's wild because you can see the whole race in one view. If you're a fan, you can see the whole race in one view. And as a photographer, I can see them go all the way around too. So you really feel like you're part of the hurricane that's going around there. But man, it's neat, and you never know what you're going to see there. I mean, we saw that this race last year was a 3-wide photo finish, so very well could have another one.
Very well, and I say this over and over, and I know I'm not sure how the schedule lines up, but what are you there for all races this week?
Yep, I'll be there for all of them. You got. I'm trying to remember. I think you have trucks first, and then Xfinity after trucks on Saturday, and then Cup on Sunday. I'll tell you what, though, it's going to be freezing.
Is it?
I mean, I think the highs are going to be in the 40s, and the lows are going to be in the 20s. So that's going to change the racing a good bit too.
Yeah, for sure. Before they changed track, me and my son rode down there. We just decided. I think it was like that Friday. I was like, "Hey, let's go to Atlanta tomorrow." And we got up, drove down, and I'm gonna tell you what. If you're just a fan of racing, or if you got kids that want to see a lot of racing, I ain't gonna say overdo it, but grown enough to enjoy racing. I'm not sure what the ticket deal is this year, but I know, and I'm pretty sure same. But we bought one ticket on Saturday and got to see 2 races out of it, and man, we had a lot of fun that day. It was a long day. It was warm when we were down there, unfortunately, that time. But bundle up. It's a great facility, great track.
It's very easy getting in and getting out.
Yes.
Although it's near Atlanta, there's not a major city that's right next to it. So you have all the highway. You got I-75 right down the road.
Yeah, the way they got the interstate off of there, it kind of just runs straight into the track parking lot.
Yeah.
So, man, who you gonna be watching? Who you think's gonna do good there? I know that's kind of a toss up, another one, but there seems to be some guys that are just good at that track.
Those Trackhouse guys, man, they're just right now they're the best. I mean, average wise with finishes, they're the best at the new Atlanta. I mean, I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be. I feel like I say it every year, but kind of Denny Hamlin's year. I mean, I'm just waiting for him to get a championship. But, I think I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick. I think I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick. He runs really well up there if he doesn't get caught in a wreck. So I would say Reddick.
Just looking at the speed the Fords had and seeing what he did there last year and kept getting so close, I'm gonna go with Chris Buescher.
That's a good one.
I think he can do something.
Keselowski's really good there too. Those two hooked up.
They could make some noise for sure. I do want to ask you real quick. Obviously, none of us have the reason behind it, but just get your reaction to. I heard the news that Pitbull just kind of pulled out of Trackhouse. It just seemed like a immediate thing. I mean, obviously none of us know why, but what's your reaction to that?
He even put on the pre-race concert, I believe. I don't know. I think that Trackhouse is certainly growing, and it's no longer a promotional team. It is a full-time racing team that has wins, that's championship capable, and I think that that's what it is. It's not a Pitbull team anymore, So, and then also, it appears that they have really good sponsorship backing. They rebranded this year. They have top-notch drivers. So, I mean, we'll never know unless he comes out and says, or the team comes out and says. I think that their organization will just keep on keeping on, and they're going to win races. And I don't think that. I think they're so I mean, I don't know. I don't have any insight, but I think they're so financially stable now that this isn't going to hurt anything at all.
Justin Marks is. I was telling somebody that day. I said Justin Marks is a smart businessman. Mm-hmm. That dude has always been able to take a little bit and make a lot out of it. So when you obviously Pitbull come in there, obviously it had to be some financial support when he came in. He obviously didn't know much about racing, so he was a financial guy. So Justin Marks has been able to do a lot with the investment that they put in with that, and I expect that to just keep on with him.
Well, they're doing all kinds of new things outside of the race car too.
Yes.
When you go to their hauler in the garage, it's got TVs on the side of it.
Party.
It is. It's an entertainment company almost.
Yes.
And I don't even know what they do outside of racing.
They got a bar downtown Nashville.
Yeah, and they have that go-kart track.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an entertainment company is what they are, and they are changing the way that NASCAR's that the popular things in NASCAR are doing. They're trendy. They're starting to set the trend in NASCAR with their trackside technologies, I guess is the best way to put it.
For sure. Well, cool, man. Well, we could keep on going all night on here, but I've kept you long enough for sure.
I can talk racing 24/7.
I'm the same way, man. We can find something to talk about. But cool. Well, I want to thank real quick our good friends over at MPM Marketing, marketwithmpm.com. If you are in this game of racing and you're wanting to move up in this world, or you just need help with your marketing side, talk with Tanya over at MPM Marketing. She, man, I'm going to tell you, her digital content she puts out is one thing, because that is such a huge thing in racing now, especially when you're trying to grow your brand. You got to have somebody that knows what they're doing that for you pretty much, because it's so hard, it takes so much time. But also, sponsorships that she can put you in front of. You got to have it now. So go talk with Tanya over at MPM Marketing for sure. Also, Fresh Chef. If you're up in the what I like to call the Race City area of North Carolina, and that goes anywhere from Charlotte all the way up to Hickory and all around that area, at Mooresville, in between, everywhere. Go check out Fresh Chef. If you're ever up there that way, go check one out. I'm going to tell you what, it is some of the best food you'll ever eat. They got daily food and drink specials, and go check them out for sure. Tell them we sent you. Tell them the guys from Chicken Bone Alley sent you. They'll appreciate it. But anyway, well, Hunter, man, I just want to tell you I appreciate you coming over, being a guest in the studio today, and man, there's a seat open for you anytime you want to swing in and talk some racing. You know it.
I appreciate it, and my best friend, Tyler Goodson, he was a photographer of mine too, passed away. And Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to let me hang a big sign at the Turn 4 photo tower.
Dude, that's awesome.
To honor him. So I'm really appreciative of Atlanta Motor Speedway for allowing that to happen.
That's awesome.
And then also, I'll be at the track this weekend, so follow thefourthturn.com. That's TheFourthTurn.com. We cover everything from late models to NASCAR Cup Series, and we dabble in dirt a little bit, but I wouldn't say that I'm 100% dirt.
We just need to get somebody else in there with you, to go get dirty every weekend.
Yeah, and then start earlier is what they need to do. But,
I hear you there. Y'all go check out thefourthturn.com. You will not be disappointed in any of the content, because I'm going to tell you what, man, I read y'all stories, and it is, it's great, man.
Work hard, man. It's just me for the most part. Yeah. And then Chris Neal takes care of the back end of the website, and we have some photographers throughout the country, but it's tough. It's a lot of...
Phew.
I'll tell you, I'm tired. I didn't even go to the racetrack this weekend.
And to hold a full-time job on top of that.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a lot of work, man. A lot of work. Glad you're doing it, though. Glad you're doing it. The sport needs it for sure. Can't do it without you.
Yeah. It takes a village.
It definitely does. It definitely does. Well, like I said, I appreciate you, man. And we got seats open anytime you want to come talk racing, man.
Appreciate
Come hang out with us. And we appreciate all y'all for hanging out with us. Appreciate Butterbean coming on here. Congratulations him again. Quade Schoonover coming hanging out with us, and Racin Jason talking more about the dirt. So we appreciate all y'all hanging out with us, and we will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one.
See ya.